So the Hollywood Reporter was actually able to talk to people who vote on the Oscars, which I thought was kind of interesting. So we're kind of getting an early reaction to if this film is going to be nominated for anything. And it's kind of mixed, which I'm surprised because I got to tell you, you can say what you want about the movie, but Joaquin Phoenix absolutely at least deserves a nomination for his role because he did everything they like. One thing that they really like is if you change your body, and he lost 20 pounds for that role. He did a transformation on himself. That's a big thing for them. They want to see something like that. And if anything, he deserves at least a nod for that. Now, there's this article that I'm going to totally skip because it's just so ridiculous. Look at this article by Extra. Is Joker about angry white men or for them? It's still unclear. Kind of waste of time journalism is this? You're a joke. This is what you're writing for a living? You're a joke. You're not serious. Nobody takes you seriously. And you really should look at yourself in the mirror and wonder if you wanted to be a clown, because that's the kind of writing you do. It's clown writing. You should be writing pamphlets for a circus. So anyway, this is actually a pretty decent piece as they just went and collected what people thought about the film. There's no opinions by the reporter. It's just straight up reporting. It's nice to see something kind of unbiased when it comes to the Joker, even though some of the responses of the people in the Academy are biased. The guy's just reporting it. So it's nice to see something like that. You don't see it too often. I find some of the reactions very interesting for this movie. Like I said, I think Joaquin Phoenix for sure deserves a nomination. And I wonder if he'll get one. Because as much as I like Heath Ledger's performance, he didn't do the kinds of things that Heath Ledger did. So it's interesting, and I'm looking forward to when this all comes down. A lot of people probably will be. So the Academy Awards, if you didn't know, to win an Oscar, you don't get the vote. This is a bunch of people that are, in Hollywood. They kind of send in their votes, and it's done that way. It's not something like a people's choice. So these are the people that are going to pick. And I think it's interesting to see their reactions here. So they don't identify anybody. They don't do any of that. They just kind of give opinions of people that they talk to. So here are some of their thoughts. Male members of the Members at Large branch. I saw it Saturday at the official Academy screening. There are about 500 in attendance. And while a film that dark and disturbing isn't going to get the kind of rapturous reception of a movie more upbeat, it was very well received, and I think it's brilliant. Phoenix has never been better. The way he and the filmmakers handled the transformation from Arthur into Joker is nuanced and masterful. I love the way they dealt with the unreliable narrator aspect of the story as we learn bit by bit what really happened versus Arthur's reality. I thought the DP production designer and the others created the look and feel of the period very well. And the fact that it has very contemporary themes of economic class inequalities felt just right. Overall home run. So that guy liked it. This guy, however, not so much. This comes from the executive branch. My son, who is 21, liked the movie, and I'm sure at his age, that might make some sense. But if you look at the beginning of the movie, Fleck gets his board stolen, and then he gets beat up, so you feel sorry for him. Then you find out he's got mental issues, so you feel sorry for him. And then he's given a gun and he uses it. So you've got this crazy guy who goes on a crime spree, and you're supposed to like him, even though he's stabbing and shooting people. And the way he acts with kids leaves a lot to be desired. To me, that kind of gratuitous violence sends a very strange message. It's going to make a lot of money. So if you're running a studio, you're supposed to make that movie, but is it responsible? I was once confronted with that same question and decided not to make the movie. And the movie got made and made a lot of money anyway. So I wish I knew who this guy was, because he's a complete, punani. Because he's basically saying, you have a duty to people. You should not make this type of movie. Like, so this guy is going to definitely vote against the movie, probably in everything, which is ridiculous. Somebody said on Twitter that they gave awards to a movie for an actress who banged a fish or something a couple of years ago, and I thought that was really funny because it's true. And it's like, this movie, I mean, I understand some people probably didn't like it, but everything in that movie was done well. For the time period, the acting, the messages behind it, and I think it did have some things to say, particularly about the way we handle mental illness in society and funding for those services. And I think that that is something worth talking about, but you know, they did it right, whereas some movies and comics and video games blatantly slap you over the face with it. This movie had something to say, but still gave you an entertaining story. But it is what it is. So, female member of members at large branch. See, they only identified people by gender, so they didn't do any identifiers for people. That's just something I want to point out. I saw the film last night at the Landmark with another Academy member, and my stomach was still churning this morning. It made me uncomfortable from the very first frame to the last. But I thought the movie was extraordinary. I didn't read anything about it beforehand, so I thought it was going to be a sort of Batman movie. It's the most outstanding performance I've seen in many years. The way he moved everything, I mean, he really was a consummate actor. And that's not a frame. There's not a frame he's not on camera too. What I don't understand is what everyone's all upset about. Just pick up the morning paper and you see the a-hole that's running our country. If you want to worry about violence, it's still early, but I can certainly see myself nominating it for Best Picture. And he has to get nominated or the actors branch doesn't know what they're doing. So that's obviously an orange man bad person, but I like her reaction to where she's saying, like, why is everyone so upset about this movie? I like seeing that. So, like I said, you're seeing mixed reactions here, but I think it's going to get due. I think it will get nominated, and I really do want to see it win some stuff. There's some really interesting takes in here. Like I said, I went over the whole thing, and it's very mixed. Some people call it a Taxi Driver ripoff. Some people say they're not even going to watch it, which I think is BS. How are you going to not watch it and then cast a vote for it? I mean, I think that if you're voting in the Academy Awards, don't you have a duty to at least watch the movie? So some people liked it, some people didn't. What I'm going to do is link this article. It's a good article, so I'm going to give you the actual article, not an archive. They didn't really do any like nasty stuff in this. Not like the article I showed you that I'm not going to cover. So give it a read and look it over. I think there's some really interesting takes on here, but it just shows like, you know, the branding that the media has done its duty, because people in this article that are going to vote on this movie for awards have been influenced by, you know, all of the bad media press for this movie, which I think is complete BS, complete garbage. It's not how it's supposed to be. So, as a bonus, we'll go over this too real quick, because 10-minute videos always do better. And instead of blabbing on about one article for 10 minutes, when I don't really have 10 minutes worth of stuff to talk about, we'll just put multiple topics in here, because it's all on at least the same underlying issue, which is Joker. And this one has to do with Jared Leto or whatever, who's upset that Joaquin Phoenix got a movie and he wasn't considered. So there's a couple of things to talk about with Suicide Squad's Joker. Now, Jared Leto, from what I understand, is upset because he shot a bunch of stuff for the Suicide Squad movie that got cut. So I guess there's at least like an extra 30 to 40 minutes of stuff in that movie with his Joker, which he claims would have made his performance like better. I don't think he did a bad job in his performance. It's the tools he was given for the movie. It's the Joker they decided to go with, that weird like Joker who secretes pop culture. That's not what the Joker does. That was weird. There was some stuff I liked with that Joker, like that scene with him laying around all the knives and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. But for the most part, it's a pretty poor Joker. I don't so much put it on him as I do the director and the producers of the movie and the way that they decided to go with Joker. I think that the way they went about that was stupid. But he's upset that he's not a part of it, and he just kind of found out that they were making this movie and they didn't like consider him, and he felt alienated and upset. That's pretty much it. And you can't really blame him. I mean, it's like, okay, well, you cast me to do this role. I think I did an okay job. And then all of a sudden I find out, through everybody else that Joaquin Phoenix is doing this Joker movie. Why didn't you even talk to me? I think that he deserved at least hey, we're not going with you. But I understand the cold world of business, and it's just the kind of way the cookie crumbles in some cases. So anyway, let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the mixed reactions to Joker for Oscars and the particular clownness that's surrounding this movie. Anyway, like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Check out my Twitch, YellowFlash Comics, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.